remembers using the bathroom at school and the anxiety that it caused and how hectic it was.
Bro, I can't even explain it. I haven't
like
one
these dudes.
time called my mom to come get me and take me home because I had.
This has to be a shared trauma for all of us going into that school bathroom.
It's unbelievable.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. We're back with another hour banger. We got some of the most viral, disturbing TikToks happening now. We're gonna get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This is literally the sign to stop eating KFC chicken. If you still indulging in KFC, you must like humans. So y'all, KFC just dropped a commercial like 6 days ago. And they literally telling you in your face what their chicken is. This was by far one of the weirdest, craziest, demonic looking shit I ever seen all in one. They be telling us right in our face and people just look at the commercial and be like, oh, that was so unique. They're thinking outside of the box. No, they're thinking inside of your skin, fool. What does the shirt say? God, take a look at this commercial. Really pay attention. Okay, you got the chicken. You got a sweater floating down. Then watch the people like in a cult or something. A big giant egg.
We're all wearing gravy colored sweaters.
They take the person to the water. Watch what happened, y'all.
Dip them in the gravy. It's crazy, y'all.
Now somebody explain to me, why on earth would they make a commercial showing them dipping a human into some water, turning them into chicken, KFC chicken? I don't really need the answer. I was just saying, I already know the answer. Do you? Let me know in the comments. This shit crazy, fool.
I'm looking around. Tweaking.
Blatant green screen. Where's all the fucking wash around the fucking... Where is it? Right? I've been in the water all my life, mate, right? That's a load of shit. They're running this one hard, mate, for all you fucking dumb cunts.
Who is the Son of Man and the Son of God? This might surprise many of y'all. He wears many hats. Some hats we only see through Revelation. And I don't mean the book, but it's also in the book. 1 John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And later we see that the Word manifested and became flesh and dwelt among us. So Jesus Christ is the Word of God and also the spoken Word of God. And in Revelation we see the Alpha and the Omega descending from heaven, and his name was the Word. His eyes a flame of fire, his head many crowns, he had a name written that no man knew but himself. Clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. So the Son of God is the Word of God and also has no beginning. In the very beginning, when the world was without shape or form and no light, the first thing that happened was the Word. Let there be light. And there was light. But that was Jesus Christ. Do I really need to prove something so fundamental? To understand the nature of Christ, let's look in Colossians 1. Who is the image of the invisible God that no man has seen, the firstborn of every creature? For by him, Jesus Christ, were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, dominions, or principalities, or powers. It was all created by him and for him. It's irritating when people say Jesus is not God, because him himself said, I am that I am. Because the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And God manifested and became flesh right before us, to die for us. The crazy part? Who was the Ancient of Days that Daniel saw in Daniel 7? The Bible repeatedly says that the Father is invisible, but we know that Jesus and the Father are one. And they shared the glory before the heavens were created. And I beheld the thrones were cast down. The Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair on his head was like pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. Daniel was seeing the image of God, and we know God is invisible, so who was his image? You can't see invisible things. And he, Jesus Christ, is the head of the body of the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, and all things might have permanence. For it pleased the Father that in Jesus should all fullness dwell, having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things to himself. Jesus Christ, before his physical manifestation and died for our sins, was God as the Word and the image of God. Jesus said, if you would have known the Father, you would have known me, and I and my Father are one. Jesus is God. His Father is God, and God gave us his Spirit. There's no need to be confused anymore. Every literal question you have is in the Bible. You just gotta, read it. And if this video blew your mind, send it to a friend.
I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen. Boom. I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
He's exactly right.
Okay.
He'd be proud of you.
There was stuff under that pyramid, y'all.
There's a painting of Lucifer, and he looks just like the fucking Statue of Liberty, and he's got a chain, like a shackle around his ankle with a broken chain, and it's a famous painting of Lucifer, and he's like this, right? And then you look at the Statue of Liberty, that's not a woman, that's a dude, and it's got a fucking shackle around its
I thought it was a strong
ankle
chick.
with a broken chain. The
Statue of Liberty has a shackle around its ankle?
With a broken chain, just like the famous
Find the painting
No,
of
you go find that. Just punch in Lucifer, Statue of Liberty.
So much fun. So
Dude,
much fun.
the Statue of Liberty is not a chick. That's
much more.
That's not a chick.
It's not a chick.
That's not a chick.
It's a trans dude.
I just thought you had a strong jaw.
Strong jaw and some
nose.
Some boobs. Man boobs.
Look at that. That's a painting of Lucifer, right?
Whoa.
Right?
Damn.
And you think that's a chick?
Go to the full
It could
painting.
be France just trolling us, though.
Look at the chain. He's got a.
Damn, Lucifer's dick is gone. He's got the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Go to the.
There's the chain.
Look at it right there.
Whoa.
Boom. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. That's the foot of the Statue of Liberty.
An exploding drone.
That is not a drone, boys.
On fire, whatever.
It's Harlan's birthday.
There's like little flashing lights around it. See that little thing's flashing? What is that?
What is that?
Don't look at it. You might die or something.
See the little things flashing above it?
Oh, that thing's moving, huh?
I wonder if it's one of those, the things they let go and they fly in the air.
There's a picture in the museum in the Louvre. I don't know how many of you have ever been there. The picture is called Checkmate. The devil's sitting on this side. There's a chessboard, and there's a guy sitting on the other side. And the guy sitting on the other side has his hand on his head like this. And he's like in desperation. And as they were taking a tour through the Louvre, there had been a group of athletes, and particularly world champions, that were being given a special tour. And in the tour was the world chess champion. And he comes walking by the picture. And the guy's explaining to him, this is a picture of an artist rendering of somebody who lost the battle with the devil. And so the group moved on to the next picture to see something else. But the world chess champion, he stayed there. And he just kept looking at the picture. And soon they noticed that he was not with the group. And so the tour guide came back and said, we've moved on. Are you coming? He said, well, I've been looking at this picture. And the guy said, yeah. He said, it's called Checkmate. The devil's laughing. The man's lost. And he said, yeah. He said, I've been noticing that. He said, but while I've been standing here, I've kept looking at the picture. I've got a problem. And he said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I'm a world champion chess player, and I spend my life playing chess, and normal people don't always see what a world champion chess player sees. He says, but when y'all walked off, I looked at the devil laughing, and I looked at the man in desperation, But he said, I noticed something on the chessboard. He said, either they're going to have to change the painting or they're going to have to change the name. And the guy said, well, why are they going to have to do that? He said, well, you know, I'm a world champion chess player. And he said, when I observed the board, I found out the king still has one more move. I come to tell somebody today, you believe you've been cornered. You believe everything is gone and nothing has got any hope. But the king still has one more move. In the fullness of time, God sent his son. I dare you to declare it. The king has one more move. He has one more move over my finances. He has one more move over my marriage. He has one more move over my kids. It is not over.
I went down that KFC rabbit hole, and let me tell you this. If this video don't stop you from stuffing your face with their finger-licking chicken, nothing will. So y'all remember KFC's full name was Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they changed it in 1991. Now the question is, why did they change it? Well, let's just say this. When you look it up on Google, they're not trying to tell you the right thing, but I remember. And shout out to one of these creators for refreshing my memory. So in 1991, Kentucky Fried Chicken had to change its name to KFC because they weren't selling chicken. You heard me, right? Now, if you look it up on Google, Google will say they changed their name because they didn't want people hanging on a word fried. But that's bullshit. And let's say allegedly, because we know how TikTok get. So again, they had to change that name because they wasn't able to call it Kentucky Fried Chicken because they wasn't selling chicken. So now, when you look at that and you ask yourself, what were they selling? No, really, what were they selling if they wasn't selling chicken? Now, you see the video about KFC that I dropped yesterday. Guy is walking in gravy. Guy dips another guy in gravy, and this guy turns into chicken. Yeah, you heard me. Chicken. And again, you have to ask yourself, what the hell does dipping a person in gravy have to do with fried chicken? They're telling you something without telling you something. What are they really cooking? Now, again, I'm not saying anything. All I'm doing is just pointing you in the right direction. What did that have to do with fried chicken? Is that real?
Creepy ass ice cream man.
America, can we have a conversation? Okay. I don't know about y'all, but have you seen an influx in the car wash business? At least here in North Texas, y'all, there's a new one every 2 months. There's probably at least 10 to 15 car wash places within a 10-mile radius. Now, I'm not saying something, but I'm saying something. Because there ain't no fucking way, bro. What's really going on? What's really happening?
He's at the car wash.
I need to know. Is it the new mattress?
There goes his car.
Why are there so many car washes? I know it's easy to run. Sorry, I know it's easy to open or something like that. Because I try to read up on it. But there's just no way there's not enough business for that. Mind you, I'm at a place right now. I can count 15 employees right in front of me. 15 motherfucking employees on a Sunday, and there's 3 people. Okay, the line's kind of long now. But the point is, I smell a stunt.
Anyways, there's a bunch of car washes out by me. Now in Arizona, they used to be called $3 car washes, right? 2020 happened. They got rid of the dollar and called it 3-minute car washes and upped the price to $5, which is okay, right? I'll pay $5 for a quick basic wash. They even have towels out there, microfiber towels for you to dry and get your car right. But out here in Texas, they don't got the microfiber towels. They got the vacuum. but it's like $15 and it's just a basic drive-through. There's nobody at the end drying your car. Your car's full of water. $15, y'all. Because sometimes I'm like, we're going out. I didn't wash the car. I'll go through the drive-through real quick, so we go out to eat dinner in a clean car or something. But I ain't paying $15, y'all. I don't know the last time I went through one of those car washes, probably when I was back in Arizona and lived in my apartment. But these prices are out of hand out here, and they're everywhere. And they're not that busy, y'all. They're not that busy. They're literally on every corner out here in Texas.
And that's how I feel when people are saying, like, oh, Adam 22 is cooperating, or Adam 22 is probably working with the feds or whatever. It's like, I would gladly take every conversation that Brick Baby and I had ever had. Let's say he was wearing a wire, and that audio can be released to the world. And sure, there might be a little bit of stuff that would be a little shocking to people, but for the most part, this guy never told me where the bodies were hidden. If that, to use a uncomfortable metaphor or anything, like, most of these gangster dudes do not look at me or you as the shoulder to cry on about the worst things that they've ever done in their life, for the most part. That's just not really the kind of conversations that we're typically having with them, in particular, because if you tell Vlad that you killed somebody, Vlad's probably going to tell you that was a bad idea. If you tell Vlad you're thinking about killing somebody, he's probably going to say, like, listen, like, you sure you want to do that? It's probably not a good idea, etc. It's like, why would they've got plenty of homies that they could talk to this kind of thing through with. And I just, like, people think that we're maybe a little bit more involved in some of these dudes' lives than we actually are.
I've never been a gang member on any level. I never wanted to be a Blood or a Crip or anything else like that. I've always kept these relationships business or just friendly. You know what I mean? Like, I used to always, I like telling the story because me and Wack were beefing for like 10 years, right? Not beefing, acting like we're trying to get at each other, but I knew that me and Wack didn't like each other. We were both aware of this. I was aware that if I ran into him, that something might happen. So my security was always aware of this. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, Kamala Harris, Jerry Brown, Gavin Newsom. They're all from the same place. They're all from the same class. They're all very wealthy. They all have estates. Gavin's living in a $9 million home. Jerry's got a big Grass Valley estate. Feinstein had one of the most beautiful homes at Tahoe. Barbara Boxer's at Rancho Mirage. But their policies made sure that people where I live can't buy a house because of the regulations. It's so hard to do. Or they made sure that food is very expensive, or there's no natural gas. And because it doesn't affect them, because they have enough money that they don't really care about the rates. They can either get their income and capital gains or get right up, but they don't really worry about it. And then something like Los Angeles happens. And now that everybody's dumbfounded. Oh my God, I'm not insulated from this. No, you're not.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We here at Walmart. I'm gonna show y'all what water to drink. You see this GV? This purified water. This is not water, man. You can look in the bag and the ingredients. It say purified water, calcium chloride, sodium bicarbonate. That's not water, man. That's watered down. What you're supposed to drink is spring water, Ozarka water. You look in the back, it says 100% natural spring water. They get this, they add chemicals, and they sell it for less to you. They dilute it, man. So we done, man. You gotta know what you're drinking.
Everyone needs to know what is happening in Turkey right now. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken to the streets to protest over the last 5 days after the Turkish government arrested the mayor of their biggest city, Istanbul. Ekrem İmamoğlu was detained on charges of corruption and aiding terrorist groups just days before he was about to receive his party's nomination to run for president. Ekrem has denied these allegations and said that they are politically motivated. In fact, Istanbul University just announced that it's revoking Ekrem's degree due to alleged irregularities. This would actually hinder his ability to run for president, since the Turkish constitution says that presidents must have completed higher education to hold office. Turkey's current leader, who has served as their prime minister or president for the last 22 years, accused the opposition party of trying to disturb the peace and polarize our people. X have also revealed that they have received multiple court orders from Turkish authorities to block more than 700 accounts belonging to news organizations, journalists, political figures, and students. Thanks said that it would be challenging the block requests in court and adds that it will always defend freedom of speech everywhere we operate. Protests in the country have got so intense that they've now placed a several-day ban on all gatherings in Istanbul, and they've also banned short selling on its stock market in efforts to prevent steep sell-offs and curb market volatility. But of course, as things develop, I'll keep you guys updated.
This is what has happened, and it tells me what's going on. A friend of mine, we went on a cruise. A bunch of us went on a cruise last year, got bold, and 5 of us went. 4 of us came back to the same airport, but 1 of us went to a different airport. 4 of us were well, but this one guy got really deathly ill when he got back. He didn't call me when he was sick, and then when he finally called me, it was like 10 or 14 days later, and I said, well, okay, are you okay now? I mean, how are you? And he said, well, I'm okay. And so he wasn't 100%. I said, listen, here's what I want you to do. You didn't take the gum that I told you to take on the cruise, right? He said, no. I said, okay. Go down to the gas station. At this point, don't worry about ordering the stuff off the line that's the safest one. I like Lucy.com, but I don't get a kickback from them. I just like that one. But I said, just go down to the gas station and get yourself some nicotine gum and try taking 1 milligram or 2 milligrams 3 times a day, whatever you can tolerate. Give me a call in a few days. Let me know how you are. He gave me a call, and he said immediately I was well. Any residual was gone. And this is the key point. He said, actually, I feel better now than when I went on the cruise. And see, that told me that what's happening is there is a low level of this stuff still in our environment, or some people still have it in them. And so we have to have a protocol to cleanse them and to prevent them and to blockade it. Now, the nicotine, the way it works, so people understand, is these poisons bind with your ACE2 receptors, which are very, very prominent in your heart and your lungs, your brain, a couple other places, but those are the big ones. And what happens is that this nicotine, the reason they're called nicotine receptors is they bind nicotine stronger than they bind anything else. So if you take some nicotine in, it'll slip in between that poison and your receptor and just push it off there. Yeah. And then you have to get it out of the system. Now, for doctors out there, I will tell you the other story, and I'm just still surprised by this. This just happened. I have a friend, she has asthma. She went down to South America to her house for a couple weeks, and she came back, and the day she came back, she got deathly ill, said, I think I've got pneumonia. Can you call in some antibiotic for me? She's coughing up yellow stuff. Now, in classic medicine, I mean, that would have been a no-brainer. Asthmatic, feels ill, coughing up yellow stuff. That's a bacterial superimposition on the asthma. You got to treat it with antibiotics. That's what we're taught. But this time I said, did you chew the gum down there that I told you to chew? And she said, no. Do you have it at home? Yes. Try taking it. Call me in the morning. Now, if you're really sick, call me before that, but try it. She called me in the morning and literally it was over. Gone. Yeah. Now, I would not have believed that.
In Houston, they're having this problem where people are stealing cars. They're going to a chop shop and they're completely disassembling the car, setting all the parts on a shelf, abandoning the car so that it gets towed by the police department. The police department then sends it to an auction, sells it in the auction for $3,000. The same guy that stole it buys it from the auction, takes it back to his chop shop, and then reassembles the car. But because it went through the auction, it now has a clean title. It's no longer a stolen vehicle. So if you see a vehicle that shows it has stolen on the title, investigate those things, or just look. If there's bolts under the hood that look like they've been turned, if the door jamb nuts look like they've been removed and put back on, maybe it's one of those stolen vehicles. But they're cracking down on it. So those guys doing it, they're going to be looking at some serious time. So buyer beware. If you see something that looks fishy, maybe it happened in that car.
I can't find anyone to jump in and talk, y'all. I don't know none of these topics.
This owl just scared me so bad. I looked over and he was looking and I was like, is this a fake owl? And then he blinked. I'm waiting for him to do it again. You saw him move? Blink again, bro. Do it. Come on.
Thing will rip your head off.
Why are you here in the daytime?
2 months after she stepped down as a federal prosecutor, when Trump got inaugurated, she has now been found unalive in her home. So y'all, former federal prosecutor who stepped down after Trump got in office, named Jessica Aber, has been found unalived in her home, y'all. Nobody knows how yet. Now, there's been whispers of that R word that ends in Asians. 3 syllables, y'all. So she was in office when Biden was in office. But as soon as Trump took over, she resigned. And now 2 months later, she's gone. I'm not trying to say nothing, I'm just saying. That's a little suspicious to me. Now, what people are talking about was she forced out or did she step down on her own? Now, since she was with Biden, I can only think that Trump was like, I don't want nobody that dealt with Biden on my team. So you gotta bye-bye. But then at the same time, I could be wrong. But I could be right because I could have been wrong. But I'm right because I'm not wrong. But then I might be wrong because I might not be right. So as of right now, like I said, it's not too much details on what happened to her. But I will update y'all. So I need y'all thoughts down below. Do you think she was forced out or she just left on her own will? And do y'all think any foul play was with her unaliving?
I don't know if you know it, around the 34-minute mark in that confrontation, some little lackey from his staff leans over and gives him like marching orders. No. Then stuff hits the fan. Like, hey, remember that meeting you had with, I'm just speculating. Remember that meeting you had with Victoria Nuland yesterday when you got, the Susan Rice phone call, just remember we talked about security guarantees. Right after that, fireworks.
The coming weeks, we're going to see things that is going to change everything that we believed. We are totally going to be shaken by what is about to occur. Now, there is currently a mothership that is sitting outside of the Earth's atmosphere, and they have been sending probes here to Earth. And this is the lights that you have seen in Indiana and Illinois, the other night in Tennessee, Alaska, all over the United States, all over the world. They are preparing us to finally introduce us to extraterrestrials. And I know it sounds crazy, but this isn't some conspiracy thing anymore. Like, they are preparing us by slowly acknowledging and letting us see that extraterrestrials are about to be revealed to us. And we're going to see that they've been here for a very long time. They've been living amongst us. And, I really don't think there's going to be, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see these extraterrestrials be revealed. There is going to be some sort of leader, and he's going to say, I can unite the world and I can save your planet. Trust in me. And I think we'll see all of these nations bow down to this extraterrestrial, and we will go to a one world government. Now, everyone thought, like the Antichrist would be some leader here on Earth. But when you think about it, and you look in the book of Revelations, it clearly describes, right, an extraterrestrial. This, being that would come down and perform what we would see as miracles and be very advanced and be able to trick us into believing into going into this one world government and submitting to him and actually believing that he is, or they are, God themselves. And I think that a lot is about to be revealed in the next couple of weeks. So what do you think about all this?
Yo, did you hear the JFK files have been released? No way, pull them up. Now we'll finally know for sure who took out JFK. What the? Whoa, how many pages are there? 80,000, what the f? Yeah,
ridiculous.
Let me know what you find out when you're done reading it. I'm not reading all that, bro, I got a life. Well, I ain't reading it. Mickey Mouse could have done it, but I ain't reading 80,000 pages to find out. Damn, I really want to know who did it. Well, there's only one thing to do then. What? We wait until someone makes a TikTok about it. Thank the Lord for TikTok. She tell me to
Ridiculous, y'all. 80,000 pages to tell us the one thing we want. And then people are going to say they broke it down. Did they really? I don't know. What do you guys think of that, y'all? I think they're just playing games with us, throwing out 80,000 pages. Like, ain't nobody gonna sit there and go through all that. You know how long that's gonna take?
Time this meme was actually low-key on point. I mean, not directly on point, but they was pretty damn close. I'm talking about we may have just made the greatest discovery of our human existence so far. This is the Khafre Pyramid, and in the latest radar scan, they found a huge structure that was underneath and stretched between all three of these pyramids. I'm talking about 2 kilometers in depth. This is how deep this structure goes. Yeah, that's the Burj Khalifa, and this is what we're talking about. Exactly. Directly inside the pyramid, they scanned and found that there were 5 identical structures that were all geometrically connected. And underneath that, as we begin to go underground, there are 8 identical cylinders that are all hollowed out with this spiral staircase basically going around it. Now, this looked like some type of energy technology type of thing to me. I ain't no scientist, I'm not no technological expert, but I know some conducting shit when I see one. The cylinders alone were measured to be 648 meters. Then on top of that, they all came down and connected into these 2 gigantic fucking cubes. These 2 cubes are 80 by 80 meters. Now this stretches and connects underground between all 3 pyramids. And you gonna tell me that Tesla was not onto something? And I'm not talking about Elon the dweeb, I'm talking about Nikola Tesla. Tesla was one of the first people to come out and say, no, they were onto something with the pyramid, something with the triangle and the structures. There had to be some sort of energy hub. And everyone was like, what, the Egyptians, they were stuck in the Stone Age, no type, slaves built that. And now, as you can see, this is an intricate scientific type of build that is built by people that were far more advanced than we give them credit for. Now the question is, will Egypt let us come excavate and explore more? Because most of the time, Egypt's like, yeah, no, these are historical 7 wonders of the world. You're not touching them. But now, with this latest radar scan, it's like, wait a second, this could be an energy hub that we have not tapped into. We need to go excavate. I'm just so happy I wasn't proven right, because it's not like I knew that what was going on, but I always had a feeling. I was looking like, they just built this as a tomb for one motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have been a great guy. But there was obvious reasons that there was these 3 right here in this specific point. And when you look at the math and the science, you're like, yeah, clearly, they was on to something. And now it's proven. 2 kilometers in depth. I can't get over this. That's mad deep underground. Like, that's crazy. How'd they even get down that far? And then to build identical structures, connect them with cubes, there's some type of wiring around the cylinders. It's like, yo, they was geniuses, son. We gotta stop playing with them. We need to go to Egypt immediately. I need more answers, because this is very interesting. What if we just unlock free energy for the world? That probably would not be good for us, because all of a sudden this will go into disappearance and it will no longer be a thing. And next thing you know, somebody dying. But for now, greatest discovery of my lifetime, this shit is insane.
They said telepathy is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes way deeper. I've been really getting back into the telepathy tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's blowing my absolute mind.
Tell me about it.
There's this one boy, Houston. His story is just insane. Like, grew up severely autistic, non-speaking, and mom just grew up thinking that he was basically almost like a vegetable. And she came home one day. Her son walked downstairs, looked her straight in the eyes, which she said never made eye contact ever, and said, "I love you." Verbally. Through that was the beginning, figuring out that he could read people's minds. He could see what they were thinking. And then it starts with him talking about this place. He says that he goes to this place with other kids, other people that have this ability of telepathy. They call it the Hill. Yeah. And he says, we meet there, we teach each other things, we pray for each other. And it's like this community of kids that have this ability. They go to the Hill. It's not like a physical place. It's like not dimensional. It's like a place where their consciousness goes. And they said, but it's like in the shape of a hill. He talks to other kids around the world, like one from Denmark, one from Texas, one from just all over the world.
Is it being tested, like them following up with these people, meeting?
Yeah.
So like they're touching base with all these people and somehow they've never had contact with each other.
Yeah.
They don't know each other at all.
But the part that it's proven is all these kids can speak multiple languages. An example was a 2-year-old non-speaking autistic kid. He could speak 7 languages.
Like what?
That he's never been taught before. And he's 2. Could be getting this wrong too. This is all secondhand.
Hey, did you guys hear what's happening in Antarctica right now? Not good. Shout out Kurt Russell. The thing could be happening right now. I mean, whatever. Put it on the bingo card. Scientists from South Africa are trapped with a violent grapeist. God, censorship is literally killing the English language. Anyways. Yes, crisis in Antarctica at the secret secluded base on top of a cliff in which 9 South African scientists are currently trapped with a insane person. Violence has broken out. Like officially they're saying, shit got violent. Someone is probably hurt right now. and they are in the most isolated part of the world possible, baby. We're talking Shining type stuff. And yes, these people go through psychological evaluations before they're sent there, but when you get right down to it, you don't know how a human's going to react to supreme isolation like that. And they are there for 13 months with like no plan. There's going to have to send like a secret mission to save them. Maybe it's some new secret sort of weapon. I don't know.
Have you ever?
I know when that movie comes out in theaters, I'm gonna be checking that out. Doesn't that sound like a good movie as bad as it sounds, right? Doesn't that sound like a good movie? It sounds like a movie.
Been down an avenue and wondered why it's not a street?
Why it's a drive, a road, a boulevard. Yeah.
I have the answers to all of this.
I'm so excited because I kind of thought it was random.
I thought it was random too. It is absolutely not random. So, streets run perpendicular to avenues. In New York is the best example of that.
I can't believe this.
A boulevard is wide, fancy, and tree-lined.
Stop!
And a place is a road or street that has no thoroughway or leads to a dead end.
For sure. Places are not places.
A court is a road or street that ends in a circle or loop. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I had no idea.
That old house I had was on a court. Right? The one I'm on now is Drive. What else did I have? Lane. I've had Lane. Avenue. Right? But I'm trying to think the court wasn't a loop. I think it was. Oh, y'all.
Has anyone else noticed that people from all around the world are starting to put their flag of their country on their name, but none of the Americans are putting the flag on their name? Like, are they getting the hint? No one likes them?
Dude, am I the only one that finds it weird that I can transfer data from my brain to someone else's by just opening my mouth and pushing air with vibrations in their direction? Dude, how high are you? I'm 6'1", why?
I'm not saying we're a society on the verge of collapse, but when DoorDash is offering you a payment plan, something's going terribly wrong. Like, I feel like if you got to finance your burrito bowl, it doesn't scream to me golden age of prosperity. I know grocery prices are getting higher. I know everyone's struggling, but if you have a 4 installment payment plan for a McFlurry, you've lost the plot, my friend. Like, you can't be looking at your bills at the end of the month. Like, I got my mortgage, I got my electric, I got the car payment. Oh, what's that $3 bill? Oh, that's part of my payment plan for my General So's lunch combo.
This will be the creepiest thing you see all day. Just a moment, I'm going to roll a video clip of what people say is a gnome. Yes, a gnome caught on camera. And I'm talking about the little gnomes that you see sitting in people's yards. This is allegedly a gnome caught moving through this person's yard. It appears to be pushing something. It was caught on a home security camera. I'm going to roll the clip. I want you to let me know in the comments, what is this? Now, I don't believe gnomes are real. There's a lot of folklore around gnomes or fairies. Some people say it is. Check it out. Let me know in the comments. Watch this.
It is a skunk. Yeah, I got it last time. Called it a skunk. Now that I look at it closer, it is a skunk. That's why that dude's running. It's a skunk. Power of the internet, y'all, and that's why I said entertainment purposes only, right?
You have never seen it under this much detail.
Okay. Tapeworms are parasitic worms that live inside the host's intestines, feeding off of their nutrients. Bears particularly, because they often get infected by eating raw meat or fish that carry tapeworm larvae. Once inside, the larvae grow into adult tapeworms.
Wait for it.
These
It's like a
parasites
parachute.
can infect most mammals, including humans.
Oh no. Andrew. This is a photo of a tapeworm taken under a microscope. Nikon did a contest and this won 4th place. This is the face of a tapeworm.
Oh my gosh.
That can't be real. That is real. That actually won.
That's a demon.
Bro! That's not okay! That's a real face.
Yep.
Have you guys ever played the game Oddworld back in the day in the 90s on PlayStation? That looks like Oddworld.
That was good.
I hated every part of that.
Straight from some raw food.
You know the
Let's say
warning
sushi.
on sushi when it's
Tell
like,
me it comes to raw food? Is that what you're telling me? Not cooked?
okay.
All right. No more sushi for me. Well, here goes sushi. There goes my Friday plans.
I hated that.
Andrew, gross.
I'm not a big fan of Kobe beef. Like when they slice Kobe beef and they talk about how expensive it is because of all the marbling, I'm like, that thing's dying. That is a sick animal, like a severely morbidly obese human being. If you took a slice out of them, it's going to look like that. Fat is everywhere. It overcomes the food. It like coats your mouth. Meat, I like grass-fed beef. I like a dark, rich ribeye steak, like a cow's supposed to look, like a bison steak. And that's what you're supposed to eat.
What type of clothes? Like, that's good on a steak, but not a full steak of fat. That's too much, y'all. Nice ribeye. Yesterday we had some top sirloin. I had the guy pour the carne asada juice in there, let it soak for about 4 or 5 hours, y'all. Sunday was a damn good day, y'all. I was feeling in my Arizona vibes on Sunday. I had to do some cooking.
Wearing? Are you wearing hemp? Are you wearing linen? Are you wearing wool? Are you wearing cashmere? Are you wearing organic cotton? The materials of the clothes that you're wearing is very, very important because they are all resonating at a natural frequency, just like the earth. So if you're wearing natural materials on your body, you begin to heal. If you're wearing things like polyester, plastic, DuPont plastic, polyurethane, Tencel, nylon, acrylic, those are all synthetic polymers. They're all made from petroleum. They're all given the old eco-friendly. That's what they'll tell you. Plastic somehow is eco-friendly. But those all don't resonate any light, number one. They make a lot of static on the body. That's why people get irritable and angry and all the time when they're wearing them, and they make them itchy and crazy. That's because when you're not wearing a natural clothing, then all your vibration is thrown off, and then when your vibration is thrown off, you get crazy. And they also attract a lot of EMF. You know, all those towers they keep putting out. That's why they want everybody wearing plastic. I've even seen clothes where they recycle plastic water bottles into clothes. Like, what on earth is going on? You got microplastics literally just going right into your body because you're wearing...
Before this. So first of all, this is not an ankle monitor. I believe it's called a kinetic safety device. So what you do is you open it up and it goes at the hip. There you go. The reason why I put it on my ankle is I thought it'd be funny. But even without this, Amazon still tracks us. So Amazon and DSP can see the list of drivers, how many stops they have, their package count. Now on the computer, it shows you if the driver is ahead by 10 stops or behind by 10 stops. Now being behind on your route is a red flag for Amazon. And they can question your DSP. Why is TikTok Tony taking so long? Because he's making a TikTok? Nah, but for real, Amazon could question your DSP and in return, your DSP questions you. Now, let's say I mark a package undeliverable. A customer can escalate this and Amazon can make us reattempt that delivery. And these vans have a GPS in it. So like we've had vans that have been stolen before, and since it has GPS, they could track where it's at. So if you're planning on stealing an Amazon van, don't do it. And there's something that I learned very early on, which is unknown stops. So as I'm leaving the station, I come to put gas, and then from here, I should just go to my first stop. But if I verge off of my route, and let's say I go get food, that is known as an unknown stop. And your DSP can see that and ask you, hey, why are you there? So if you didn't know, now you know.
It's just not fun no more to be a delivery driver, y'all. That was the best job I ever had, working at Sonora Quest, working at LabCorp, which is courier, right? I'd go into doctor's offices and whatnot. But there are some routes, 8 hours on the clock, right? You can bang that route out in 2 hours, y'all. You get good relationships with these MAs and these nurses, right? You tell them, hey, I'm here 2 hours early. If you got something later, 9 times out of 10, they don't. But you got to get there later just in case. But you get in a good relationship with them. You tell them, hey, if you got something, call me, right? I'll come back and get it. You don't get that call, guess what? I'm hiking. I'm having lunch with one of the other doctor's offices. I'm eating for an hour. I'm going to run the mountain. I'm going on vacation the next day. So I'm going to the mall. I'm going to go shop. Can you guys do that still? Does that still happen? I used to do that all the time when I worked at Sonora Quest and LabCorp, y'all. I'd go walk around the mall. I'd go to the gym. I'd go run the mountain. Every day I had to stop with Miss Jody Jode and eat my dinner with her for a good hour, hour and a half. Adriana would come in, bring some snacks. Like, Good old days, y'all. Dude, like, is there any delivery drivers out there? Because now I know, like, when I was getting out, they were gonna start putting like something on the van, letting them know, like, he's on the road this many, he's been at this stop, he's been in park, or the car's been off for this long. Like, they took the fun out of it, y'all. And how is it? How is it out there for you delivery drivers? I've never done like FedEx delivery or UPS or Amazon where it's like a bunch of stops. But when I would work at LabCorp and SnortQuest, I'd have like 70 stops, y'all. So it was nonstop, but I still had time. I knew like, okay, I got to run the mountain today, so I'm gonna bust my ass in the beginning of this route so that later on I have a good hour to chill. You know what I mean? So do you guys still did any delivery drivers out there? How is it, y'all? Is it hell on earth now for you guys, or is it still fun where you can get out and do some extra, some extra stuff out there? Use the camera, y'all, or the microphone. More fires, y'all. In beautiful places, right?
Breaking news, and by breaking news, I mean this literally just happened last night. But in Vegas, where I live, right outside of Vegas, a 12-foot monolith showed up out of nowhere last night. Now, there's an area outside of Las Vegas, if you're familiar with Las Vegas, that's called Seven Magic Mountains, and it's this art installation. It's this gigantic structure of rocks that are different colors, and it's basically like a tourist attraction, a place where you can take photo ops and stuff like that. But last night, authorities have confirmed that a 12-foot monolith just showed up without permission, was given no permission and undetected. So there's no detection of it showing up. And they have said that it will be removed, but further investigation is going on right now before it's removed. But this literally just happened last night outside of Las Vegas. And it's not the first time that a monolith has just randomly shown up all over the entire world. But I wanted to share that with you guys now. It is on the news. You can Google it. You can research it. But yeah, a 12-foot monolith just showed up in Las Vegas.
Who remembers using the bathroom at school and the anxiety that it caused and how hectic it was?
Bro, I can't even explain it. I haven't
like
one
these dudes.
time called my mom to come get me and take me home because I had to shit.
This has to be a shared trauma for all of us. Going into that school bathroom.
It's unbelievable.
There wasn't one time that I went into the high school bathroom that it didn't smell like 95 cigarettes.
Oh, it's the worst.
Like somebody opened the window, so you got like the fresh air coming in.
It was unbelievable.
But it's mixing with the cigarettes. That's like a certain smell. Fresh air, cigarette, bathroom smell. People would fight in the bathroom.
Yeah, it was a meeting place. Some wild shit was about to go down.
They're like, I'll meet you in the bathroom.
I don't know.
Walking in, oh, he taking a shit. People kicking the door in.
It was traumatic.
Like they would call you out.
You know what's funny though? I don't know what age it happened, but that went away. I think I got mad that I was this affected by it. I'll shit anywhere now. I'll shit in a porta potty at the Derby. You know what I mean? Like I'm at this point now in my life, like I'll go wherever, bro. Like if it hits me,
God.
I'm in. Okay, I gotta go at this gas station. Cool. Something hit me one day where I'm like, fuck it.
A switch,
Like-
flip. Like, hey, everybody gonna feel this.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. Bro. I'm pooping.
Don't know why I find this fascinating, but on a world map, this is a Chinese world map. Look, it's blank in the middle, and England is this tiny little thing here in the corner of the world. Now, yeah, that makes sense because obviously China is the center of China, and in the UK. But I just thought every world map had the UK in the center, but actually no, I guess not. That's mad, isn't it? I don't know why I find that mad. Anyway.
Have you ever seen that Jon Stewart interview where he's on the Colbert Show? Colbert's trying to stop him.
The disease is the same name as the lab. So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card.
You know we stopped filming. We'll be right back.
The worst thing that we ever did to humanity during COVID, full stop, and this will probably cut your audience right in half, was residential quarantining, masking, and social distancing. That was a horrible idea. You know, the body responds very well to certain stressors. They're called hormesis or hormetic stressors. So cold plunging, for example, is a hormetic stress, but your body responds very well to it. So if you don't load up your bones, they don't strengthen. If you don't tear a muscle, it doesn't grow. If you don't challenge the immune system, it weakens. So what you saw was the global effect of the weakening of the immune system. We basically shoved everybody indoors, took human beings out of contact with other human beings, and we weakened the immune system. And then what happened on the backs of the pandemic? Oh, monkeypox. What the hell is monkeypox? I don't know. I've never heard of monkeypox. No, it's always been around. It's just such a weak virus. We never thought about it. And now it's infecting people, and bird flus and all of these different strains. We're on an 8th version of Omicron for, the SARS mutation. So the best thing that could have happened to you during COVID was to get a natural infection and develop a natural immune response, right? So we're realizing that the more human beings are in contact with other human beings, the stronger our immune system is.
Miracle caught on camera. Watch this. This man had God on his side.
Ran over his head.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's a miracle.
Praise God. The Bible says in Psalms 91:11, "For God will tell his angels to keep you safe. They will protect you wherever you go."
So remember, the Pulse nightclub shooter, him and his wife did their surveillance on, Disney Springs, the downtown Disney area. They chose it as the target. When he went to do the attack, right, he had the gun in his stroller, and then there was too much Disney security that day. He got back in the car, drove around, thought of another venue, and then picked Pulse later on, right? Horrible thing happened, but Disney having their security and upping their posture from the time he surveilled and said, I'm going to do it, to going back and having more security, he said, okay, this isn't worth it for me. I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do, right? That is a case study of how it happens. Now, we all harden, right? We make all these targets more difficult. We keep thwarting them in that way. And remember, when people have to change the venue of their target, it might not be the same day like he did. They might have to do a week later. That gives law enforcement one more week to maybe identify him and thwart him, right? Because we want to thwart this plot. We want to stop it from happening. Buying time and making the terrorists have to hide out longer, spend more money, that helps us get them.
Can you imagine if it would have got at Disney, downtown Disney, how many young ones are out there? Like that would have been, I don't remember the Pulse thing. Is that like I know it's a bar or something, but I'm sure it was bad and all that. But like there is thousands and thousands of people in downtown Disney just there. Like people would have got mowed down there. It's crazy that I didn't know that. That's why I put this clip on here. I didn't know that, but that would have been crazy, y'all.
We don't live in a fucking free country. I say this over and over again. The reason that people don't understand that is because they're used to paying these taxes from birth. Paying the amount of tax that we pay is relatively new. They started that back in 1913. Before that, we didn't pay shit. We kept what we earned. That is how it should be now. Most of the government services should be privatized. Yes, there still has to be a little bit of a government. Yes, we are going to have to pay some tax, but the tax that we need to pay should never exceed 10%. And people who are at the highest tax bracket are paying 50, 60, 70, 80% of their money in taxes. And people say, oh, well, that's not true. That's an exaggeration. No, it's not, because you're only accounting for income tax. You're not accounting for all the tax that you have to pay when you buy shit, when you sell shit, when you own shit, when you create shit. Like you don't understand it. And then the people who vote for it, they don't pay taxes because they don't have jobs, and yet they get to vote.
You know what's crazy about North Korea? They're the most demonized country on the planet. Oh, they're always testing missiles. They're testing missiles. Since the Korean War, you know how many countries they've invaded and killed innocent civilians? 0. How many countries have we invaded and killed millions of civilians? Like 20 or 30 since the Korean War. But they're the bad guy? They've never invaded anybody. We invade people all the fucking time and kill innocent children and... Come on. This is a big show going on. There's nothing... North Korea ain't doing shit.
That's true, but it is a dictatorship.
I think it's for a show.
No, there's no show, man.
They don't have bombs.
Eddie, they do.
You know what? I don't believe that because CNN pushes it, so I don't
Everybody
believe
pushes it, Eddie.
Yeah.
Yo, there's North Korea been? Like, with all this turmoil going on, you think it would have been the perfect opportunity for them to go. Like, they've been very, very, very quiet for a long time. What's going on with them?
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the back.
There, yo.
Where? Oh my god.
A live streamer alone in the woods films a peaceful night.
Yeah,
Birds chirp, leaves rustle. All seems calm until a viewer spots something moving in the background. At first, it's just a flicker, a shape, a shadow. Then, it lingers. Upright, still, watching. The streamer freezes, confusion spreading across his face. He whispers, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" But he doesn't run. He looks straight at it, as if drawn to it. Thousands of viewers flood the chat, some claiming it's just a person. Others swear it's a skinwalker drawn to the human presence and camera light. The creature vanishes as silently as it appeared, leaving behind a question no one could answer. If it was a prank, who was it? And if it wasn't, what was out there? The clip goes viral, with countless users pointing out what the streamer missed. "There's a man behind the tree," one writes. "That's not a person," insists another. As the footage is slowed down, something chilling becomes clear. The figure isn't just hiding, it's mimicking. Its posture is too perfect, its movements just off enough to send your brain into panic mode. Some say it was edited. But why would he look right at the figure, then at the camera, and calmly ask, "Where?" Almost like he didn't see it, or wasn't allowed to. A few claim it was an IRL stream snipe, but those who know the signs, they're convinced it was something else. A predator that waits, not to strike, but to be seen, only once, before it disappears. Just long enough to make sure you'll never go back to that place again.
Rang Pelosi with questions. It was clear they were not there to hear her answers.
No, I want to. No, you've asked questions. You've asked questions. You have spoken.
Can we have a second, please? And there was no winning them over.
And it's beautiful to our ears to hear your protection, your self-dignity. But I'm not. Hey, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it now. Just stop it now. All right. That's it.
We are sending a message. Like, that's how far out of touch they are. Like, why do they think they can go around normal people, right? Maybe you can go on The View, you can go on MSNBC, you can go in and they'll embrace you, they'll ask you the questions you want. You know, when you tell them I don't want to answer that, they're going to shut up and on to the next one. But when you go around everyday people that are struggling from the policies you put in place and you're thriving, you're going to get some backlash, y'all.
Kid Rock was here a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "I want you to meet Trump." He said, "I'm going to take you to the White House." So now we're going to do that.
I think that's
and like
a good
there will be
conversation.
lots of people on the left who will be like, "How dare you talk to this man?" It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you. You know, I'm not playing this game that you mean girls play.
Yes.
Where like, oh, you know what? You can't sit at my lunch table because I'm just not talking to you. Not talking to you, you lost the election. Who the fuck do you think you have to talk to? You know, it's one thing if you win it.
Yeah.
It's another thing if you lose it.
You gotta start
kinda
talking to people.
Have to talk. And I see Gavin Newsom is doing this now. He's changed his tune. He's got a podcast, and the first guest was Charlie Kirk.
I thought that was,
I
thought that was brilliant. You
and
have
he
to
mentioned me. He said, like, I'm noticing what Bill does, talks to both sides, like is left leaning, but not afraid to criticize the people on his team. Like, we got to get more of this going.
They always
this
say that,
has to become the center. This has to become a real center. Right now, it's like it's a few lonely islands that need to like become a bigger fucking sandbar.
Yeah. No, for real. You're right. Like, it needs to be normalized.
How would
They need to get with the times, y'all. These days of having celebrities and movie stars and those people at your rallies, it's not going to work. We don't want to see Beyonce up there, and then it comes out you paid her $10 million, whatever the number was. We don't want to see Oprah. We don't want to see, we don't want to see all these celebrities. We see who they are. We don't worship them no more. Some people do, but we don't. Right? You got to get with the times and go on the right podcast. Go on the right where people are going to ask you the right questions. They're not going to softball you questions. We want to see who you really are. Right? We want to see what you're doing outside of this. What do you do? Right? When Trump went on Rogan, we saw we weren't just talking politics. We were just talking about, I forgot the things he was talking about, but they were talking about normal things, right? But if Kamala goes on, does her 60 Minutes thing, we saw how edited that was. They only asked her politician questions, right? We didn't get to know her, right? We want to get to know not just about politics. What else are you into, right? Your son had some cocaine in the White House. Let's talk about it a little bit, right?
Handle in this county an incident where groups of 8 to 10 well-trained terror operatives donned first responder uniforms. How would we handle that as a community? Wow. How would we communicate that to the community? How would first responders actually talk to themselves on the fact that that was happening? And is there a way that they could overcome that with a different uniform or something? Like, I don't know the answer, but that is a legitimate question. Another question that came up a lot that I think is really powerful is how would our community to respond if the terror attack happened in such a way that there was complete paralysis across all first responders? If you had systemic paralysis, in all of my case study interviews, you had systemic paralysis for at least 24 to 48 hours where there was no real response.
Why was that?
Well, because they were just overwhelmed. When that happens, what follows is a level of institutional paralysis. Everything's locked, everything's paralyzed. When that happens, you've got these groups that are capable of what my buddy Dave at the agency calls not terrorism, but horrorism. Like, they're able to bring a level of just unmitigated horror at an interpersonal level, and then they'll even amplify it with body cams. Strategic surprise, strategic paralysis, hold ground, mass casualties, that kind of event. We've just never dealt with that here.
All right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Late start, y'all. It's already going to be 2 o'clock. Got to get the video out by 4 or 5 o'clock. The roof got damaged during this terrible storm we had a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and roof got damaged. Shingles got ripped off. It was all over my backyard and front yard, so we had to get that repaired today. They just left before I came up here to do the video, so now I'm done for the day, y'all. This is it. A little later than I like, but Segovia's got to get better. I need to get my morning routine better. That's what I want to work on, because in the morning when I wake up at 6, sometimes 7 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock. Whenever the baby wakes up for the first time in the morning. Usually it's around 6, sometimes it's 5 o'clock, but I stay up at that last feeding, right? I stay up, but I go down there and drink coffee. I go downstairs and I drink 3 cups of coffee until like 9, 10 o'clock. By then, the day's already over. So I want to start having my coffee with you guys, y'all. I want to start having my coffee up here and do my reaction, get it out the way before my day starts. It's already 2 o'clock, y'all. I got to go run the mountain at 6 o'clock. It's almost dinner time. Like, I don't like doing videos this late. Usually when it's this late, I don't put a video out because it's just, it takes some time doing these videos, y'all. But anyways, I thank you guys for all the love you guys have been showing. There's going to be some links popping up to my second channel. Be sure to go over there and check it out. I know I need to get consistent over there. I'm going to try to put my recent upload from that channel over here. So be sure to go over there and show some love, y'all. I'm going to get active over there, y'all. We're going to be doing the TikTok stuff, but it's going to be different genres. It's not going to be this genre. It's going to be scary TikToks. It's going to be maybe some funny TikToks. It's going to be some inflation TikToks, car payment type stuff, that type of stuff on TikTok we're going to be doing over there. So be sure you guys go over there and show me some love and don't miss an upload over there. But anyways, y'all, I got to get going. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with some coffee early, right? I'm going to see y'all then. Later.